Well, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. I hope y'all are having a great day and a great weekend. What I've got for you today, we're going to be installing an electronic ignition from Pertronix onto my distributor here for my 1970 Corvette, along with Pertronix Flame Thrower II. This is their 0.6 ohm coil to go in conjunction with this new electronic ignition. Okay, so to do this, it's actually a pretty straightforward process, and I'm not, this really isn't going to be a precise how-to video. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing to my car and show you the results that I get. I will put a link down in the description below to a really good how-to video actually made by Pertronix, so be sure to check that out if you guys are going to be using this Pertronix ignition set. Again, this is not going to be a in-depth installation how-to video. I'll show you kind of bits and pieces of what I'm going to do, and then at the end we'll see if it actually fires up and works. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you hadn't done so already, because I'm also going to be doing a future video probably right after this one of how to adjust and tune a Holley carburetor. Now, these carburetors are very straightforward, very simple to work on, and I'll go through some of the highlights on how to tune and how to set up these carburetors. Again, this is not going to be an in-depth, very precise how-to video on setting up Holley carburetors. There are certainly a lot better videos on the internet, on YouTube, on how to set these carburetors up, but again, just want to show you guys how I'm going to set mine up and then see how it works. So let's get started. Alright, so in the box, what you get is your instruction manual. You get a pack of washers and shims. It also comes with a new rubber grommet. I'll show you where that goes in just a minute. You get the magnet ring, and then you also get the igniter module itself. First thing you're going to want to do is remove the distributor cap, and these are held in place just by two spring-loaded bolts on either side. Go ahead and take that off. Then you're going to want to remove the rotor itself, and those are held on, that's held on just by two flathead screws. Now we're going to remove the points and condenser. And we're going to save these screws that are holding on the points because we're going to reuse those when we install the new ignition module. Now we can go ahead and cut and remove the points wire. And we'll also remove this rubber grommet down here on the bottom. Now we got to make sure this breaker plate is nice and clean, so I'm just going to use a microfiber cloth and a little acetone to clean that. And if it's really bad, you might want to use some emery cloth to get all the nasty stuff off of this breaker plate. Alright, now that we got the breaker plate all cleaned off, we're going to take this magnet sleeve, slip it over the advance mechanism, then we're going to slide the screws on the magnet plate up through the advance mechanism. Take your new rotor, place it over top, and then take the thicker nuts from the kit and then just thread those down on top. And tighten the nuts down sufficiently. The new igniter module is going to go in the same exact place as the old points were, using the screws that you took off from the points earlier. We'll go ahead and tighten these down loosely right now. Now, once we get the ignition module in place, you want to check the air gap between the ignition module and the magnet ring. And at its lowest point, you want it to be about 10 thousandths of an inch, and then at its widest point, no more than 60 thousandths. Also, now it's a good time to check the end play in your distributor to see if there's any significant wear or play, and if so, the kit also comes with some shims that you can shim up the gear down at the bottom. Alright, so I've already checked the gap between the ignition module and the magnetic ring, and the gap on this particular setup actually falls within the tolerances recommended in the manual. So I don't have to do any shimming of the gear or the distributor. This will be good to go as is. Alright, then once you check your air gap, go ahead and tighten down the ignition module bracket. And then we can feed the wires down through the hole in the bottom of the distributor, making sure not to interfere with the vacuum advance function. And once you get the two wires fed down through the bottom of the distributor, go ahead and put that new rubber grommet on from the kit. Alright, so now that we've got the new electronic ignition on, I am going to attempt to try and re-stab this distributor into the motor. And I'm not going to waste much of your time today. Be sure to stick around, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because in the next video I'm going to show you guys how in fact this actually works, and if it does work for my setup. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get this distributor put back in as close as it was to when I took it out. And then if you guys would stick around, be sure to check out the follow-up video where we actually try and get this thing in time. And then after that, we're going to try and get this carburetor dialed in with a vacuum gauge. And if I can get my hands on one, I'm also going to try and set this carburetor up using an air-fuel mixture meter. So guys, stick around for that as well. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping by the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.